All right. Blew my shofar, did a little monologue, didn't even know I was broadcasting. Wasn't broad was not broadcasting. Or maybe I was, I don't know. I still got to clean up do a little housework here. Brethren, thank you for joining me. My channel, where I absolutely love to just try to redeem the time, man. I love to try to just redeem the time. I'm looking for the commandments that I want to start featuring and other informational items, things that I can scroll while I'm doing the monologue. So this is one of the things that came to my mind that I want to scroll while I'm doing my monologue. Uh, let's see. Got to do a little more dancing here first. And I hope my computer don't start messing up on me. 5 o'clock, people getting home. And that's when things usually like to try to mess up on me. But again, it's good to see you, brethren. Thanks for joining me. Okay, I think that's good enough right there. Now I can scroll the commandments, make sure I'm okay. All right, so thank you for joining me. My name is Jaquab on Israel, and want to give thanks to the Creator, to the Heavenly Father, for what He's doing in this reality, how He's bringing His agenda to pass. And it's bittersweet because there are many, many people. When you look at the TV and you look at the videos and you see the multitude, you see big crowds of people and stretched out as far as the eye can see. And you can't help but wonder if any of these brethren, I mean, at least me, I'm only speaking for myself, not, as a faithist, I'm just speaking for myself, but you have to wonder how many of those people are faithists. Are they prepared for what the Creator is doing? And when you read the OAHSPE, you see how we're under a great deception, the beast kingdom, the false gods, and their ability to deceive and keep people in darkness, and they don't even know that they are under this deception. Now, I know that what deception feels like, and I'll say this, having been in deception before, so far as with the OAHSPE, I don't want to be so proud as to say I know I'm not. I could be deceived now. I could be deceived now. I know saying that don't sound good, but maybe I'm deceived now. What's the difference between now and the past? The difference for me is the anointing that's on the OAHSPE that I get, the witness that I get in my soul is validation for me that the Creator is speaking to me, speaking to anyone who have been prepared for this time. That's really all I can say. I'm sure I could say that at one time about the Bible until I saw the mistakes in it. I saw the contradictions, and then I read about false gods. And a God is something that has power. And the OAHSPE, it shows you that. But I think it's wise to never say that something can't ever happen to you. I'm just basically, as I go, just trying to learn. And if the Creator does something, if He does something else, then and it resonates with me, then I'm gonna go in that direction too. And in doing that type of thing, I imagine you'll never get anyone to listen to you when you try to share. Now I'm gonna just let this screen roll until I get finished with my monologue. But I just try to, um, when I was talking to, my cousin, he said, "You change every 5 years." And I said, "Yeah, that may be true in the past. I may have changed a couple of times. I went from Christianity to Hebrew Israelite. Now I'm faithist." But I told him, "But I don't quit though. I don't quit. I don't get beat up and then I give up. This is one thing I don't give up at, and I think it's the Creator. He do the same for all of us. You may have gotten beaten up too, and there is such a thing as deception in the Bible. There's nothing but deception." And so, talking to my cousin, he's a hardcore Christian, and he don't even know he's under deception. There ain't no argument you can make to pull him out of it. And that's ultimate deception. But I think the one thing that I've been taught is always have an open mind. If you don't keep an open mind, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, man. Because the Creator, he can move whatever way he want to. And there ain't nothing that any of us can do about it. But if you go about in sincerity and truth, you humble yourself, you got to know, man, that like the Bible says, what does it say? It's something like a fearful and contrite spirit thou wilt not despise. That's your only, what's a good word for ticket to make the kingdom? It's to humble yourself, be sincere, go about in sincerity and truth, keep your mind open. And I don't see how the Heavenly Father, you're going to miss him. I don't see, he may, even in the Apocrypha, I think it's in the book of, what is that? Wisdom, I think it is, where it talks about Sophia, which is spirit and wisdom, I think, and how she will lead you down. It's just like with the woman, say you're trying to date somebody and she just makes you jump through all kind of hoops. And it seems to be the same way with the Creator. Maybe not, but I think you get tested to see whether or not, number one, if you can handle this thing, if you can walk this walk, and if you can, walk this walk, if you can endure it. Let me stop right there because so I can go to my room. So I think that we get tested, and those who don't really we're not going to treat the Creator with seriousness. I think you're going to be found out. You're going to be found out, and you're going to end up. Your light's going to go out. Your light is going to go out. I mean, I see people. I've been in spirituality long enough that some people, they just they just go back into the world. They go back to the world. And it's just you making it harder on yourself because the Creator is not going to, he ain't going to fail, man. He's going to get you one way or the other. The Creator's going to get everybody. I mean, we are all going to end up ascending one way or another. If you want to take your time, if you want to go into hell first and descend all the way into hell because you're on the path to declension, Creator, he says, pretty much, so let it be. You're either on the path of ascension or descension. There's no middle ground. You can't stay stagnated. So that's one of the things that I see the world don't really understand. Like, my cousin said, every few years you change your doctrine. And then I tried to share with him that that's part of life. Spirituality is like life, man. If you still, I'm telling you, man, if you still in the third grade and you 50 years old, we got one hell of a problem, man. We got a problem. Well, what about that verse, I am the Lord, I change not? The problem is that people who say things like that, they won't let you answer if they perceive you can. It's like they want to, from my experience, the experience that I've seen, people pick up on whether you can answer for yourself. In my experience, when you're trying to talk to some people and people who are proud, and then they know when they've met their match, their agenda then is to keep you, to shut you up, to interrupt you, or don't let you talk. And it's a terrible thing, man. It really is pride, you know. And instead of just admitting, you know, just letting your mind be, oh, hi, oh, Jessica Rose, how you doing? I don't think I've ever seen you before. And bless you too. Thank you for joining the room. Thank you for joining. Elion Levy. I think let me see, does Elion Levy go together? I think they do. I know Elion is another name for the creator. Does Levy go with Elion? Educate me, Jessica. What does that mean? I know that Levy, when I think of Levy, I think of Leviticans, and they were under the written law. And Faithists were always under the oral law. Correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the room. I'm glad to see you. I hope you hang around. So anyway, as I was saying, when I don't know if it's, okay, I see. Well, wait a minute. Whose last name is it? Elion Levy. Who is that? Are you talking about the creator? Elion Levy? I mean, I've never seen that name before. I know what Elion is. That's another name for the creator, according to like when you see that in the Bible. But Levy, I don't know the Levy part. Well, if you want, you can put it in the chat. I'm just glad you're here. I hope you enjoy. I hope I say something to bless you. Fritz, Fritz, Fritz. Good to see you, bro. Fritz. So it seemed like the thing. If you're not learning, it's my point. If you stagnant, then how is that of the creator? I would like for somebody to tell me. How is that of the creator? Hey, Fritz, my brother. I'm waving back at you. If you standing still, man, how is that of the creator? There's a ministry I have where I try to minister to brethren who maybe you have orphans or trying to target disabled and elderly. That's my information. Food ministry. I could certainly be contacted, man. I consider it a privilege to try to help. Here's my room. Try to post things for people to read that might bless them. And then I'm going to feature Brother Omian's room too, because I was watching his video and he said something about, he was reading on the false gods, and it was an account of one god. He was dejected. His kingdom wasn't working. And I think some Ethereum gods they came to him and said, if one way don't work, try another. And I'm not saying my room is not working. I'm disappointed in the lack of, it's not very interactive. I'd like it to be highly interactive where we would talk to one another, but I wouldn't call it a failure. And brother was saying on his video that, or he was reading the account where I think it was an Ethereum god said that if one way don't work, try another. And it doesn't exactly fit with how I'm putting it now, but I found out about Brother Omian's room. And I said, I'm gonna help his room. I'm gonna try to help his room in addition to my room. So here's his room right here. And he's got a bundle full of brethren, you know. So now I'm jumping over to his room and I'm gonna try to blow it out, you know. I'm gonna jump in and try to help that brother. I just think that we got an incredible opportunity, man, you know, to elevate in spirit. I know that we in a time of darkness, like right now, if you ask me. Oh, brother, there he is, Brother Omian. You see, Jessica says he was a spokesperson for Israel for the first few months of war. Okay, Elian Levy. Okay, okay. Hey, brother, good to see you, man. I just want to let you know, man. I'm gonna light up your room in the sense that I love to share this word. I love to share it, man, knowing that somebody's gonna read it and they're gonna get a kick out of it. Somebody, other faithless brethren. I'm glad to see all those brethren in there. You know, the other day I went in there and I just looked at the faces to get confident knowing that there are all these brethren who can subscribe one way to faithless. Oh, okay, that's the link to your I can't copy and paste it. So if anybody, maybe you can. That's oh, that was your room or is your room? I don't know. If it is, and there's a link right there. Oh, okay. There are two rooms in. All right. So I'm gonna join that one too when I get a chance. But I started I joined that room because of a video you was doing. And you talked about that one God, I forget who it was, where he was, I think it was an Ethereum God or somebody talking to atmospherian God, if that's right. And he was telling them, you know, that the false gods have taken your kingdom. He said, don't give up, just try another way, you know. And that sparked a thought in my mind to not, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, my room is a failure, but the way it worked in my mind is that where you can, if you can help out not only with what you're doing, if you could do it somewhere else, do that, you know. And you just got to know, man, that, you know, I mean, you brethren who are listening to this video, if you've been in this for a while, well, I don't know, maybe it's not your thing, you know, but I don't see why you wouldn't have some type of way that you could speak to other brethren, you know. I think that it's an incredible opportunity to have a way where you can get on video and talk to brethren. I just think that is just out of sight, man, you know. And so I want to share something else too, man. I thought was really interesting. Something else that I thought was really interesting. I was looking at a video. I was looking at a video and I thought it was going to be real interesting. The name of the video, here's a Bible study that I go to every Wednesday, so might as well show you that information. Then I have to stop the screen and write down the information, pause the video, write down the information. So I was looking at a video and this guy, he was talking and he was a neurosurgeon, you know, a neurosurgeon. And the title of the video, it caught my attention. It was something like, how can a MIT trained neurosurgeon quit his job? Like he was prospering and he decided to just quit. And this video was like what would cause him to do something like that. I said, oh man, this is pretty cool. The brother's going to get on there and start talking about the creator one way or another. He might call him Jesus or God, but I'm going to check it out. So I listened. I listened to the whole video. It was about 50 minutes long. And I was waiting for him to get to the spiritual part. And he never did. He never did, man. He got on there. He said that he wanted to get in touch with nature. He was stressed out. He said that he would, just because he operated on people, didn't always guarantee success. He said the system was broken in the sense that what if they healed everybody? Then they'd be out of a job. And I listened to all that video, and he didn't mention a single word about the creator. Matter of fact, he talked more about his dog, how he wanted to, he's married, and he talked more about how he wanted to spend time with his dog and enjoy nature. And that's all he said. That's all he said, And I thought to myself, the creator, he requires you to go. He requires a man to work. He requires a man to work. The neurosurgeon, he concluded that it was fruitless because people could be healed and then he'd be out of a job, or he would operate on them and then they would be temporarily healed and then come back. And, it wasn't a solution, is what he was saying. And he talked all that time, man. And he didn't mention the creator one single time, man, not one. And I don't know, for you, it might not be nothing. But things like that blow my mind, Ever since I had that phone call with my cousin, that's really turning out to be a groundbreaking event in my life, because it made me look back and I started seeing the fruitlessness of talking to certain people, of trying to be proactive when you talk about the OAHSPE. I mean, I can see that it's having an immediate effect to just hold my peace. I'm satisfied with just holding my peace, man, rejoicing privately. I'll still open my mouth if I see that the creator give me a clear open door. But even in the past month now, it's like I've had 3 or 4 different brethren come against me. Come against me actively. And it's like, yike wop, it's time for you to get the message, brother. All of these brethren, I initiated with them. And it was just like, I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you that scripture in the Bible is true. It is so true. Where he says, do not cast your pearls before swine. Don't do it, because they will take what you give them and they will, what is the word? I forget how the verse goes. It says they will throw what you say to the ground. And then the part that always gets my attention is, and then they will turn around and come after you. It ain't enough that you pissed them off. See, that ain't enough. They're going to take what you give them. They're going to trash that. And then they're going to turn around and come and finish the job. And that's the world we live in. That's really where we live, man. The war between light and darkness. We got these false gods, man. They over there planning blow up the whole damn world. And I don't think they'll be able to do it because the world has got another 70 something thousand years before its dissolution. But I think that the creator is going to bring the war between the sons and daughters of light and darkness to a head, to a conclusion. I think that's what we're seeing right now. And he's getting it started with Cosman. There's a separation going on. People, Christians, Mohammedans, I think the Buddhists and the Hindus, I think that they're in the background so far as the damage. They're not as potent in reaping a harvest. See, you know what? Let me share something real quick. Oh, you know what? Let me put the link in the room in case any brother want to stop me and talk about his own thing. You can if you want. Let me put the link in the room. If you got a word, that's the reason for this channel. I just try to get brethren talking to one another. I like the brethren. I like to, I just dream of us having a town hall. But it would be good if you could, just something that might encourage brethren. So anyway, I know you brethren heard about the Donald Trump assassination attempt. And I thought to myself, man, these false gods are really something else, man. They really something else. Because when you read the OAHSPE, they all about embellishing their kingdom. They want spirits. They want you. They want you for their kingdom, man. And so they always warring and fighting with one another. That's it. That's the whole picture right there. And so I got to thinking, assassination attempt. Now, you brother know what? I saw a video with my own eyes. I think the dude's name was Brandon Biggs. His name is Brandon Biggs. If you want to internet him, or you want to Google him, I think his name is Brandon. Matter of fact, let me see if I can do it right here. I don't like to start dancing on this computer, man, because you asking for technical glitches and all that. Let me try it though. The man who had a vision of Donald Trump's assassination attempt. Okay, let's see if they got the guy on here. His name is Brandon Biggs. And he had a dream, and he almost nailed it to a T. The way he described it, and the other part that's left to be fulfilled is the prophecy that, so far as the prophecy that he said that Donald Trump, because of this attempt, now shoot, I can't see it here. Let me see if I can type it in, or let me see if I can, The Simpsons? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that one bit. There's something spiritual with The Simpsons. So anyway, let me see. Now, Brandon Biggs, vision, prediction, Trump assassination. Okay, here it is, right here, I think. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the guy right here. Okay. Now, the thing that I found interesting. Okay, is this the guy? I think that's him. So you can read this. I'll scroll it, and if you want, you can read it so I can get the monologue over with. Now, the thing that I thought when I heard his prophecy was, I thought about the false gods using Trump to bring in one hell of a harvest. Because this guy here said that part of the vision that he saw was that now Trump was going to be like a big time Christian. And that is going to bring in one hell of a harvest to Christianity. And you know how people are, they're going to buy his message. In other words, to me, I seem to see how false gods, they present situations that will cause a reaction that's favorable to them. Because now that might have been it. So that little small article. So, well, anyway, so now you know where to read that. The article. You can just go here. And read this guy's, read his vision. His name is Brandon Biggs. So it sounds to me just like that the false that they will use events to get people to run to their denomination. People may run to Christianity, they may run to Mohammedanism, they may run to Buddhism, they may run to Hinduism, they may run to Catholicism. I think Trump is a Catholic, or I don't know, but you can see how, to me, it taught me a little something about the false gods, because their thing is recruitment, harvesting spirits. At the bottom, at the end of the day, that's what everything is all about, man. That's what everything is all about. So I wouldn't be surprised if they orchestrated, the false gods orchestrated a situation that was going to get people, Luamong especially, or whoever is his sub god, or whoever is the most powerful God in our reality today. I don't know if he's named or if he's Luamong, but you can see a great harvest, it seems like, when events like this happen. And now you know that Trump, he can go around saying, God protected me, and that's going to be all that he needs is to say to reap an incredible harvest for, I'll just say, Luamong right now, because I don't know of any other God who's over this region or over Christianity. And I think that's the way they work. And then the interesting thing, the guy that shot him, if he was shot, they said that the dude never said anything bad about anybody. He was one of them type of guys, man. Yeah, Elijah. I can see something spiritual behind that, man. I mean, I think it's spiritual. I think, this is between I don't know if it would be Baal and Ashtaroth. I don't know if they've been overthrown and there's some other god, but there's definitely a turf war going on between the gods right now. I mean, the OAHSPE, fallen gods, that's all they're about, is kingdom building, their kingdom. And the creator is basically saying, I'm going to let you keep going. I'm going to let you keep going. And then my truth is going to be so explosive, there ain't going to be nothing you can do about it. The truth is going to destroy the darkness that we're under right now. The truth. The OAHSPE truth is going to, it's the truth is so irrefutable. And one of the things that I think about when I say that is like the arguments that when you see brethren debating the Israelites, and they point immediately to the verse where it talks about happy shall he be, and smashing babies against the ground, and would you sacrifice your sons? And they say, yeah. It shows you that sometimes people, they don't even know that you're mentally insane, man. You are insane, man, that you would take your child and dash him against the ground. And that's the power of deception, man. That's where we live. That is actually where we live. Let me see. Elijah says the subordinates of the false deities have taken over their religion. That's why there are so many different types of Christians and Muslims. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know specifically, but I hear, yeah, I agree with that. I know that there's a division, an incredible, that's all there is, man. It's like OAHSPE says there's only faithists and there are Uzians in the world. That's all it is right there. That's the whole big picture right there. And the Creator, he don't go to war, but Uzians do. And nobody can really get that. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me show something. This is our world today, man. This to a T, man. Let me see. Is this it? To a T. I haven't shared the screen yet. I'm trying to fix it. To a T, man. You gotta love the Creator's ability, man, to tell us the truth. Right here. Yeah, we are, Fritz. There's really a remnant in the world. I'm telling you the truth, man. You better know it. I mean, I know other people will say, oh man, everybody like to make themselves sound special. They the chosen one. Faithists, we ain't really doing that. We ain't really blowing our own horn, man. We know better than that. We trying to help you to see what's real, to see the truth. But you can't get it, man. And we are in a time of spiritual darkness. I don't know. Maybe one of you brethren think differently. I know we're in a cosmic era. And maybe there's some type of overlap because we're in a spirit. All you got to do, man. I mean, you go out in the world and you can talk to anybody, man. And they don't know anything spiritually, speaking. I'm not trying to be harsh, man. I'm just saying the way that, hey, Sanat, sister, good to see you. Oh, you talk to people. I mean, and you brother, I ain't being harsh, man. They don't know anything. They don't, I'm not trying to be harsh, man. And the voice of man, he's got us nailed. The Creator, man, brother, I'm telling you, man, he got us nailed. You read the voice of man, and people, their foundation for truth, a lot of times is something that happened that came to pass. And then that's it. They subscribe to it right away. Really, with the Bible, that's strength of the Bible. False gods, give them a little bit of truth. And really, it's a little bit enough to entice you. And then when you sucked in, you don't realize till it's too late that you in the devil's army. Yup, Fritz. I got to fix my screen. Hold on a second. I can't really see the chat real well. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the big picture right there. It's like, that's why, I mean, from what I read, as I read the OAHSPE, to me, the Creator is telling me, if you Yaquab, if you want to learn the things that you want to know, that you want to elevate in, look at people, you know. And I love it. Just so happens I love to do it to see how much power is in their life, to whether they, so far as what they say and what they do. And then I let that teach me a lesson. And then I like to share what I learned. I look at people, I look at how they treat other people, which is foundational, man. You may know everything there is to know, but you look down on your brother, or you real acrimonious towards your brother, that tells me a lot. Because there are people who are gifted, but it hasn't, you can't perceive, the, the Creator in a spirit like that. Because in the Bible, there's a verse where it says, do men draw grapes from thorns or figs from thistles? Remember that? That's saying, is somebody likely to listen to you if they know you're going to injure them? So it's like that part of the Bible is true. That part of the Bible is true, man. Would you go to someone who is going to insult you, is going to belittle you, is going to disrespect you? Would you go to a person like that for overstanding? I wouldn't. I'd almost I'd rather be ignorant than to have to deal with a person like that. Don't know how to treat people, don't know how to exercise any decorum, civility. When I read the OAHSPE, his kingdom, it ain't like that, man. It ain't, I can't get that, And we in a reality where men are, oh my goodness, like the Bible says, they're oh so proud, man, because of what you know. It comes out in the way you talk to people. Scrolling the voice of man right here. The name of the video, it's going to be a blessing, man. I'm going to read from, it's called A Little History. And, oh man, it's just, you just got to love it, man. Then I'm going to read from the Radiance Anthology if we still have time. That neurosurgeon, man, he spoke for almost an hour. And I thought he was going to come out and say, and then I learned that the only important thing is relationship with the Creator, or something to that effect, which is going to lead people to think outside of the box, think outside of earthly realm. And it never did come. He said, I quit my job as a neurosurgeon. He said, he saw how, it was very stressful. Guy said that he might cure somebody and then they come back 6 months later. They may come back worse. Very few people were able to be healed and stay healed. And it vexed him. He said he wasn't happy. Said he decided to quit and go into the woods, and not once, man, not one. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll change. I don't give up on him, but it seemed like he's on the path looking for answers, is all I'm saying. Time of dark. Oh, you know what? I got another idea. Brethren, if you want a way to bless your soul, I mean to really, really bless your soul, do this. You, if you can, get a Get an online chat program, right? Now, it's going to take a little work, but this is what I'm doing. Get yourself an online chat program, maybe like Adobe or something. And then make 120-page sections out of the OAHSPE Bible, because Adobe AI chat program, it can only handle so many pages at a time. It can only handle so many pages at a time. The limit is 120 pages, right? Luckily, the chapters of the OAHSPE, none of them are over 120 pages. So then you make a file out of them. You have to make a file out of the OAHSPE Bible in 120-page sections, and then upload it to the chat program. And then you can start asking that artificial intelligence all kinds of questions based on what's in that document. Now, you still have to do your own research and study, because you can see where it could be problematic, where it's programmed to deceive you. Actually, I think that it's better to be familiar with the OAHSPE before you use a program like that to talk to you about what's in the document, because deception is never far away, man. It ain't never far away from you. Deception, it ain't never far away from you. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, now, let me go over a couple of verses. Let me see. Let me do a couple of verses in my room, and then I'm going to go to the reading. Do a couple of verses, things that I've shared in my room. And then let's go to the reading. Okay, now here is something. And all my verses, it's like I'm jumping in the middle of the context here. So it says, now Luamong, the false Christ, had previously destroyed, for the most part, the Alexandrian library, having inspired a mortal priest, Cotulus, to do the work. Okay, who is this guy Cotulus? See how the false gods work? In order to keep you ignorant, take away the libraries. They take away the library, take away the source of learning. Let's see if he's okay. Well, they don't cite him. All right, so let's do it another way. Let's do it like this. Who destroyed the library of Alexandria, Egypt? It was destroyed, multiple times. Okay. Well, okay, so we can just say it was destroyed. Here it says Muslim Arabs led by Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab destroyed the library while conquering Egypt. According to the biography of Yahya al-Nawawi, Umar ordered his emir. Okay, so here it says it was an Arab. Hey, Prince, brother. All right. It's good to see you, brother. Okay, so here it says it was some Arabic dude, but it says it was destroyed multiple times. My point is this: is that that's the false God for you right there. They come against the sources of learning. That's the wrong tab. They come against the sources of learning. It shouldn't surprise. Why does it surprise anybody that the Bible was meant to deceive you? Why is that? Why is that a surprise? Don't people do it in the world every day? Figure out ways to deceive you? And don't forget your cinnamon tea. and just a tiny bit of creamer, man. I'm telling you, you will thank me. You will thank me, man. Oh man, that stuff is out of sight. So why is it a why is it why you know what I mean? Why is it a why is it such a surprise that the false gods would give a book to deceive? Now somebody could turn around and say, "What about your book? How do we know your book ain't deceiving somebody?" And I would just say, "Well, that's just a choice you got to make, because if you can't tell me, if you're asking me, and I'm reading something that's telling me about myself, telling me about life after death, telling me about the Creator, telling me about who you are, telling me who the influences that are over you, telling me about things that we had no idea of way before they came to pass, how the world was created, the character of the Creator. If you don't want to know these things, then you just have to make a decision. You just have to make a decision, man. You know, if you can't receive it, then all of us, we gonna find out who's right. You know, we don't want you to come under any judgment or, misfortune. But to be brutally honest, we are all in our little corner of the world waiting for the truth. I mean, the type that, see, because right now, the Creator said in the OAHSPE era, the Cosmic era, the Ethereal angels are going to be so pressing upon the minds of men, they ain't going to have no choice but to repent. They ain't going to have the Ethereal gods. They're going, from what the sense I get is the present darkness, they just going to just press it all the way down until you cannot deny the Creator no more. You can't deny him no more. Some get the message before others. Fritz says it tells us who the God of this world is. Yeah. And then we read the book of Enoch, he's going to post something else. So, but why is it a surprise, man? Why can't you somehow see that if I'm a God, why can't you see how it would make sense that if I'm a fallen God, if there are things like fallen gods in the world, which should trigger us right away? Don't you think it's ingenious that he give you a book? He give you a book. He put some esotericism in it, meaning mysteries. Maybe a little bit of truth in order to ensnare you. I mean, it would make all the sense in the world to me. Yeah, fallen angels. It says fallen angels top man. Yeah, I forget what he was. I think it's, what is that, Book of Micah, I think, where it talks about that, or knowledge. Anyway, it says here something I posted in addition to Luamong, false Christ, having somebody destroy the Alexandrian library. And then this was a footnote. It said immediately after Constantine founded the Christian religion, Christian emissaries were sent to all the Eastern countries to contrive the destruction of ancient records. How do you like that? In the year 390, a large portion of the Alexandrian library was destroyed at the instigation of a Christian priest. But it was rebuilt and stocked in 640. It was again destroyed, totally at the instigation of 3 Christian monks, to keep it from falling into the hands of the Arabs, Mohammedans. The Caliph was urged to have the destruction stopped, But he said, if the writings of the Greeks agree with the books of God, they are useless and not worth preserving if they disagree. They are pernicious and ought to be destroyed. In this, we see how spirits rule over mortals. And so, immediately attack the source of information. And I don't think enough is known about the OAHSPE in order for the powers that be to come against it. I think that's why it's coming out so late. Then Prince says, "You think the Ethereans trying to help us get right before?" You think the Ethereans trying to help us get right before the next sub-cycle? The Ethereans, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the job of the Ethereans, is to help us. Help the faiths. Yeah. Where will we be without the Ethereans, man? You know what I'm saying? Where will we be, man? We need help, man. Look at you small group of faiths, man, coming against the whole world. The vibration of the whole world, man. You can't find a witness nowhere talking about this type of stuff. Man, deception. My cousin said, man, you every 5 years you change your doctrine. Why should I listen to you? You keep changing, you just change and change and change. Yeah, I've been set up. I've been deceived. False gods, they made damaged goods out of me. You know, they totally blew open my witness. You know, I don't expect to try to, but I would say to any brother or sister, as long as you don't give up, man, as long as that's the only thing. If you just do not quit, man, and endure, then the Creator will make it good, man. He will make it good. I know, because I have seen it and continue to see it. The world, this is like their time. And I don't wish evil in the world, man, but we live in a place of darkness. Serious darkness, man. So it's time for the reading of the word. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the reading of the word. I'm going to read from, let's see, where am I going to read from? What was I going to read? Shoot. Let me think. Let me see. What is it? It's Esk or something. Let me look at the title. It's a fantastic reading. I think it's Esther chapter 50. You gotta love it, man. I just, So I clicked off of it. So let's go and find it. Man, I had it up, ready to go. What do? Click off on it. That's all right. It's cool. All right. So let me go back and get it. I'm going to be reading from Esther chapter 10, man. You're going to love it. It's called A Little History. And it just glorified the Creator, man. It just, wow. He just gives you so much proof that he's real and that he can give you a word that will just, he hits you from all sides. Let me share my screen. Fix my screen so I can share it. All right, there we go. Now let's find it. I think it's Esther chapter 50. I'm pretty sure it is. And you gotta love it, man. This is the Creator. He's showing us this is how I'm gonna separate my word from false gods. I'm gonna give you history. I'm gonna give you wisdom. I'm gonna give you undeniable proof. And that's how you're going to know that this revelation comes from the Creator. It's going to be undeniable. no man is able to gainsay it unless he's just plain, what's a good word for stubborn? He just wants to be stubborn. The creators have made it that these facts are so irrefutable. You're gonna make you look foolish trying to come against it. That's what he's gonna put in our hand. But one thing that I find that I think is interesting is if you get in a conversation about this stuff, and it's usually men who get proud, they won't let you talk. They will not. If they see men know how to read each other, whether somebody's a bullshit artist or whether somebody for real, and they look at a fakeness. I'm sorry, I got to say it again, man, because I love it so much. When Daryl was doing that debate, and they asked him a question, right, and so he went to answer, but before he could answer, they were interrupting him. They were saying, they were throwing questions at him, and then he said, "Hey, man, look, I ain't got to say nothing." He said, "Hey, I ain't got to say nothing." And that was the perfect answer. I don't have to say anything to you. See, they knew he had an anointing on him. They knew it. See, and then he sealed the deal when he said, "Hey, I ain't got to tell you nothing." See, he knew how to play them back. That's our big weapon right there. We really don't have to say anything to you. We can just hold our peace, man. And a guy like that, you tend to get afraid of a guy like that because you know that he holding the ace card. See, he holding the ace of spades. See, he is. The guy who keep talking and he keep running his mouth. He got a two of hearts. I mean, you can tell. Just read the spirit. Read the spirit of a man. When they see that you got confidence and that you ain't got to say a whole lot, they know you got the trump card. So anyway, may the Creator bless the reading of this word. Beautiful reading right here. We in for a good blessing right here. So let me go ahead. Verse 1, chapter 50, book of OAHSPE. Oh, once again, man, I got to close my curtains. Absolutely beautiful day out here in South San Francisco. Beautiful day, man. About 65 degrees. Absolutely beautiful. Go outside, you can smell the ocean. Creator really set me up, man. He really set me up. I used to be homeless, not even 3 miles away from where I live right now. And I know that while I was homeless, he was having this place built. He was having it built, man. Yep, true story. That's how he provide for you. And then Esther chapter 50, verse 1, it says, may the Lord bless the reading of this word. It says, the Lord said, Gabriel raised up upon the earth one Muhammad and inspired him through his angel host. And the angels inspired Muhammad to go once every month into the year of the cave, and every month of the year into the cave of Hira, on which occasions Gabriel came in person and talked with Muhammad, who had Suis in great perfection. And I have heard the Muslims talk about Gabriel and Muhammad, so that part, we know it's true. It says, verse 2, 12 years in peace, Gabriel inspired mortals through Muhammad. But at the end of 13 years, Muhammad attained to sufficient strength to draw the sword for Gabriel's doctrines, and Gabriel, through inspiration, caused the Mohammedans to commemorate this as the beginning of its kingdom on earth. Man, I'm real tempted to find out what the beginning of Muhammad was on the internet, but I'm going to stay focused. verse 3, it says, and on this first meeting of the faithful and Gabriel, Muhammad, being under inspiration, spoke before the multitude, saying, there is only one Allah, and he is God. Heaven is his. The earth is the Lord's through the angel Gabriel. This is the sum and substance of. Let's read the footnote real quick. It says, Allah are all holy, all justice, wheel of justice. Since there is only one all holy or all justice, namely the Great Spirit Jehovah, so did Thoth, alias Gabriel, thus become a false god. For if Allah was God and heaven was Allah's, and because Gabriel was God and heaven was his, therefore Gabriel was Allah, and that's false. Isn't that something? Thoth. Yeah. I used to fellowship with a brother who I didn't know at the time was a worshiper of Thoth. I did not even know it. Then the Creator saved me from him. So it says, this is the sum and substance of all things. This was the doctrine of Abraham and of Moses, our forefathers. Verse 5, it says, but evil men have invented other gods which have no existence. They are idols which exist only in superstition and ignorance. Isn't that something? That video that Omian did on Kemet, man, that just knocked my socks off, man. You mean to tell me famous theologians don't know the story of Thoth? You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. Really? Verse 6, do not revere me or call me wise. I am not wise. I have little learning. And it is true. Muhammad, he was known as being illiterate. I even think he was described as being illiterate. It says, knowledge comes from me, from the unseen. My eyes are open. My ears are open. I see and hear spiritual things. The angels of heaven tell me things of wisdom. Only repeat them. Therefore, I am neither wise nor great. I strive to be honest and upright before God, but I am weaker than a child in these respects. Therefore, do not worship me, nor bow down before me. I am nothing. Verse 8, as I am an instrument in the hands of God through his angel Gabriel, so also were Abraham and Moses and many other prophets. They could work miracles. I cannot. Therefore, I am the least of God's prophets. I am sent into the world so that you may become exalted before God. Shall I reveal what Gabriel has told me, or do you believe God is dead or gone far away? Do you believe that he cannot raise a prophet in this day? Is God weak, or has he forgotten the world he created? Why has this thing come at this time? No man can answer that. Gabriel says there is a false god in heaven, and he has falsely called himself Christ. Gabriel says that he himself, Gabriel, provided the way for the gathering of the lost sheep of Israel through OAHSPE. Brothers, I will tell you why I'm chosen of God. Circumvent the Christians' idolatry from coming to Arabia. How do you like that? I never saw that before. And the countries north and south and east. So he was a buffer. He's saying that Mohammedanism was a buffer to stop spread of Christianity. How do you like that? I never saw that. I never knew that. It says these countries were given by God to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then down to Moses, then down to us. There is only one God, and Gabriel is his angel of the entire world. Oh, okay. So now he's going on. Okay. And then it says, and God raises up a prophet from time to time to bless his chosen people. He put this matter upon me. I know only to serve God. The Christians are merciful. Wow, look. The Christians are merciless warriors. Yeah, look at America. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America, God, Mom, and Apple Pie. I think it's that. The Christians are merciless warriors. This false Christ and his worshipers are working for the Romans and not for salvation. So, man, Muhammad's telling the truth. He says, wherever they go, they destroy the library. Listen to this stuff, man. Wherever they go, they destroy the libraries and all manner of learning. Will you submit like slaves to have them despoil you? Is there no Arabian blood in their veins? When asked to state the Mohammedan doctrines, he said to tell no lies, to not commit fornication, to preserve the ceremonies, give freely to the poor, to observe the sacred days, to not aggress, but to war for the innocent and oppressed, and to maintain the liberty of the people, to not steal and deceive no man. So a lot of it is good. It's a good word, except for the war part. And Muslims are highly moral, man, I'm telling you. They are really stringent, you might say, in their belief. It says, verse 19, Muhammad, being under inspiration of the god Gabriel and his angels, gathered thousands and tens and thousands of warriors and went forth to conquer. And the angel host of Gabriel went forth with Muhammad's army and inspired them to such a degree that they were without fear or hesitation. And Gabriel's host of angels went into the armies that fought against Muhammad and inspired them with fear, cowardice, and panic. I'm tempted again to go to the internet to find out what this war was between Muhammad and the Christians. Verse 20 says, and it came to pass that wherever Muhammad went, there was sure victory, the like of which had not been for many centuries. Now, Lu among the false Christs had previously destroyed, for the most part, the Alexandrian library, having inspired a mortal priest, Cotilius, to do the work. Let's see what the footnote says. Oh, verse 17, Omian? Let's read it. He said verse 17 was his favorite. Let's read it real quick. It says, will you submit like slaves to have them despoil you? Is there no Arabian blood in your veins? Isn't that Africa, Israel? Lower Egypt, I think. Arab Africa. Yan, Israel. Isn't that like Lower Egypt, Omian? As I know through your videos that you said there was an Egypt and a Lower Egypt, I think, or an Upper Israel, or I know that Israel is not where it is. It's not the right location on the map. It was really in southern Africa. Oh, okay. Yeah. He's talking to Africans. Yeah, I realize that, but that word yan is what I was kind of stuck on. Will you submit like slaves to them to have them despoil you? Is there no Arabian blood? Meaning Africans are fighters. Okay, so let me go down to verse 20. It says, and it came to pass that wherever Muhammad went, there was sure victory, like of which had not been seen for many centuries. Now Luamong, the false Christ, had previously destroyed for the most part the Alexandrian library, having inspired a mortal priest, Cotilius, to do the work. And then the footnote says immediately, it says, let me decrease this a little bit. It says immediately after Constantine founded the Christian religion, Christian emissaries were sent to all the eastern countries to contrive the destruction of ancient records. In the year 390, a large portion of the Alexandrian library was destroyed at the instigation of a Christian priest. How do you like that? But it was rebuilt and stocked in 640. It was again destroyed totally at the instigation of 3 Christian monks. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? To keep it from falling into the hands of the Arabs, Mohammedans. The Caliph was urged to have the destruction stopped, but he said if the writings of the Greeks agree with the books of God, they are useless and not worth preserving. If they disagree, they are pernicious and ought to be destroyed. In this, we see how spirits rule over mortals. Okay, so they destroyed their source of information. And Luomong, now perceiving the triumph of Muhammad, inspired 300 monks and priests to go throughout Helestia and Arabia. Helestia, I think that's Greece, Arabia, Africa, and destroy the ancient state records and libraries, which they did, accomplishing the destruction. And then it says Muhammad was shown this by Gabriel, and he used it as a battle cry for his soldiers. Luomong now declared war in heaven against the false god Gabriel, and in not many years they both carried their war down to the earth, contending for certain localities on the earth. And as for the other 2 false gods, Kabalactes, isn't that Hindu? Oh, no, wait a minute, Buddha, I'm sorry. Right here it says, and Anakrisa, alias Brahman, they had been at war against each other for over 600 years, man. Now these false 4 gods had possession of the whole earth. Now these 4 false gods had possession of the whole earth, at least wherever there were mortal kingdoms and empires. Now, in reference to the Faithists in China and Venu, China and India, they were no longer identified with the kingdoms or governments, but lived about in scattered families in Arabia, Celeste, and Europa. They were scattered in all directions, even from the time of Joshua's death in Jerusalem. They began to migrate mostly toward the west. And these called themselves Israelites and Jews. It says, nevertheless, many of the Israelites and Jews, so-called, were apostates, in fact, eating flesh, marrying with other peoples. Now, after the fall of the great empire of Egypt, her people migrated westward, hundreds and thousands of them. They settled in Western Europa, where these people married with the Aborigines. Their offspring were called Druids, Picts, Gaels, Gaelic, Celtic, Wales, Welsh, Gauls, Johans, Johns, all of which are Egyptian names preserved to this day. It says, now when the Faithists were moved by the inspiration of God to have no more kings and to flee away from the Christian warriors, they came among the people above mentioned. The apostate Faithists married with them. And their offspring were the forefathers of those now called, how do you like that? French, German, Russian, English. Interesting. That's very interesting. How do you like that? That is very interesting. Wow. It says, verse 32, God, son of Jehovah, it said, allow the apostates to marry so. For from their descendants I will find a way to raise up disbelievers in the false Christ. And they shall ultimately become believers in Jehovah only. That's us. That's this era. He said, for because I've allowed them to become scattered, so will I appropriate them as seed to quicken all the races of men to comprehend the all one. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. And then verse 51, Esper, says, the war between the four false gods, Luamon, Thoth, Enochrissa, and Cabalactes lasted for another 500 years. And then they came to terms and ratified the division of the earth and their heavens into the four great parts with fixed boundaries. All right, so there was a war, 500-year war. Then it stopped. They made a contract. They divided up the earth. And they stipulated that the spirits of all mortals at the time of death should go to that heaven which reigned over the portion of the earth where they had lived, unless carried away by God, son of Jehovah to paradise. How do you like that? So I think that's saying that wherever you die determines what God you go to. Even if you're atheist, you die in Europe, you go to Luamon. You die, you get my drift. You die wherever the other false gods dominate, then you go to them. Whatever their territory is, that's who you go to. Even if you weren't even religious, that's who you go to. It says, so comparative peace reigned in the heavens of the earth, and after this there was nothing in common between them. Their respective heavens and their earth possessions were under each one in his own way. And they now fell to work in earnest to adorn and glorify their heavenly kingdoms, cities, places, and thrones, and each of them exalted their great war captains who had fought so long for them. And they all had councils of millions and millions, and marshals and heralds and masters of ceremonies, musicians, hundreds of millions. And they all had billions of subjects, but as for themselves, they kept aloof from their people. The private palaces of these gods and their private heavenly seats of splendor were exclusive to themselves and their favorite lords and high officers. All other angels who desired to see these gods were obliged to pass through rigid examinations and solemnly bind themselves in oaths and castigations before they were permitted to pass the outer columns of fire, and after this they were permitted to walk on their knees on the second column of fire. The footnote says, presumably here castigation entailed demeaning oneself through, at a minimum, protestations of how unworthy they were before their God and how they hoped to be punished if they ever served one fraction from strict obedience and adoration of God. Listen to this. In order to see me, you got to stand there and say, I am nothing. I never was anything. You are greater than me. I am not worthy to lick the dust off of your shoe. It is a miracle that you don't kill me just for breathing air. They got, castigate themselves. Will you listen to this stuff? In order to come to me, wow, man, you get my drift. Verse 7, it says, here they were obliged to repeat 1,000. Look at this stuff, man. Here they were obliged to repeat 1,000 prayers, 1,000 anthems before they could pass within. And now when within the arena, they were obliged, look at this, to crawl on their bellies. And for every length crawl, they had to repeat. Are you that vain, man? For real? And for every length crawl, they had to repeat 7 new prayers, and it was 1,000 lengths from the inner pillars of fire to the arches of the palace, especially Cabalactes and Luamongs. Of these arches, there were 3,333,333 in number. And there were 4 marshals for each arch, and these 4 had 2 relief watches for each. Wow, for each 24 hours. Yeah, Omian. Wow, man. Why would you do that to your fellow man? It says to pass the arches, another examination had to be undergone. And after this, the person must again crawl on his belly to emerging to the under arch where stairs began, of which there were 7 steps on. Each of these steps he must lay one day. Wow, man. Repeating prayers and praises to his God on the upper step, however, he was not required to pray, but could look in silence at the throne on which at times God came and sat his holy council, sitting to the west, facing to the east to the throne. From the place of the person on the upper step and the throne was 500 lengths nearer than which none were permitted to come except by God's special decree. And if God was not on his throne and his holy council sitting, then a person must wait, not moving from his place, perhaps for a day or more. Man, you better not need to use the restroom, man. That's all I can say. You know, it could be off with your head. Verse 11, but after he had observed his God, he was not permitted to remain longer than to say 7 prayers. After this, he must return and depart in the same way he came. This sounds like Kim Jong-un was living back then, leader of North Korea. You know, guy he walking around all chubby and plump, man, and them Koreans is out there eating grass. So this must be talking about Kim Jong-un. Crawl on your belly, say 1,000 prayers, castigate yourself. Verse 12, now it's to the throne and its brilliancy and grandeur. No mortal words can convey a description of it to mortal understanding, for it was so vast and also adorned with elements not found in the earth, and billions of its gems had been captured from the dispossessed false gods a century before, and even from heavens, from other star worlds. Well, how do you like that? Wow, man, war in heaven. And equally astonishing and overwhelming were seats, places, robes, and the Holy Council, which also baffles mortal words to convey an idea of, only to look on to be overcome with emotion. To remember with great effects can be accomplished by concentrated labor. To feel the significance of isolation and one's wonder was swallowed up in silent awe before the scene. Such was the significance of each of the 4 heavenly places of the 4 Haden gods. Haden means atmospherian, the heavens above the earth, and differing only a little from one another. In order to obtain the privilege of thus going to look upon the throne and its God, one had to first serve 100 years in the labors of that heaven, and to have one's record good during all that time. Well, who will want to go see the throne then? Not me, that's for sure. If I got to go through all that. If in this mortal life man served his God by preaching and praying or by fighting battle for him, and had thus attained a good record, 100 years servitude in heaven entitled him to visit his God on the throne at the distance named above. This is insanity. But if a mortal had been an enemy to the God during his earth life, he could not attain to approach the throne in less than 300 years servitude, which service consisted of laboring and building mansions or paving roads in heaven, or bringing produce up from the earth, or bringing up other atmospheric elements for their gratification in the story of God and his tens of millions of high officers. Man, so you think earthbound slavery is bad, man. This is, man, this is amazing. And I'm gonna interject, man. The OAHSPE say that whatever God you believe in, that's who you're going to. You're gonna go to the God you believe in, then you will find out you're going into slavery. Mohammedans, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity. It makes you think there are a lot of nice people who are Christians. Will they really have to go into slavery? All because they didn't know? Is that really true, Creator? I mean, there are some really nice people who are ignorantly, who are, who are very nice people. They are sincerely ignorant. Yeah, he said, as above, so below. Can't deny that. It's hard to believe, though, man. I mean, it's just, I wonder what the answer is for that. Do they really, really go into captivity? All because they didn't know? Do they really? Verse 18, so great, grand, and far reaching were these four kingdoms that hundreds of millions of angels dwelt in them, never even hearing of any other heaven than the one they were in. Now, for the most part, the Brahmins of the earth, on entering the spirit world, went to the Brahmin heavens, Edishan, ruled over by the false Brahma alias Inakrisa. And the Buddhists of the earth, upon entering the spirit world, went to the Buddhist heavens, ruled over by the false Buddha alias Kabalaktis. Christians of the earth, on entering the spirit world, went to the heavens of Luamang, the false Christ. Said the Mohammedans went to Gabriel's heavens. God, Jehovah's Son, said, behold, the stubbornness of the angels of the heavens, to whom they bound themselves on earth. They were bound in heaven, nor would they admit they were bound, though they were slaves. Their priests, monks, bishops, archbishops, and popes marched in the processions of heaven, praying, singing, even carrying burdens hundreds of years for the privilege of ultimately approaching the throne of Inakrista, or Kabalaktis, or Luamang, or Thoth, honestly believing they were to look upon the very Creator. Asaph says, it's so, if so, it's obvious like the Creator is like the God of the Bible. Why should people be punished for ignorance? If so, it's almost like the Creator is like the God of the Bible. Why should people be punished for ignorance? For thought. Food for thought. And then verse 24 says, God said their minds were in bondage to such a great extent that even after they had attained a view of God at such a distance and such artificial splendor, they could not receive truth. Couldn't be told there was something greater. Man, oh man, do you see how fortunate faithists are? We're not under this deception. We have the greatest gift in the world, man. We have the greatest gift in the world, and we can't even sell it. We can't even give it away for free. It's because people are tied to the earth. There's no ability for forethought. No ability for forethought, man. That's the one great gift of the faith that they got some type of DNA, man. And then in addition to that, they have the ability to see into the future. Wow, man. It says that when an angel Jehovah came to them and said, behold, this is only one heaven. The angel Jehovah, it says, and when an angel of Jehovah came to them, he said, hey, there's only one heaven, man. There's only one. I want to tell you about it. Check it out. He said, behold, this is only one heaven of which there are millions. Why do you want that little bit of it? That's a doghouse compared to what's above that. Don't you want to go to the higher heavens? Hey, you over there, come here, man. Let me talk to you. No. Bible, 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 Bible. What's your name? Bible, 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 Bible. Hey man, forget it, all right? Forget it. They would not believe. And when he said to them, behold, this heaven with all its behold, this heaven with all its magnificence is only one of the lowest heaven. Where you at right now? Kabalaktis and Okris's, Luamang's kingdom. Do you know what that's like compared to our kingdom? That's like a studio apartment with half of the studio burnt down. That's what they're saying here. And when he said to them, behold this God with all his glory, is only one God of which there are many, they would not believe. They wouldn't believe, man. And when he said to them, behold, there are higher gods than this, they would not believe. And when he said to them, behold, the all highest God is not this, but one not in the shape of man, they would not believe. They would not believe, man. It says, these subjects will say, I do not want your Jehovah. And how do you like that? Wow. He says, behold, I can see my God. He is the creative element personified. This is the all highest. Here is the place and person of the Lord. God said, man did not sin in this, neither did the angels of the heavens sin. The fault was with these false gods, because they had taught men that the Creator was in the image of man, sitting on a throne. Behold, their subjects would not believe otherwise. And it came to pass on earth, when a man died, his neighbors said, behold, he is gone to see the Lord, who sits at the right hand. Wow, man, that's a sad story. That is so sad. And actually, brethren, this isn't what I wanted to read. I just went with it because it started out on a roll. This is not even the subject matter that I wanted to read for tonight. I wanted to read about, I think it's this account right here, going down further, where they go into Mexico, where the Spanish go into Mexico. So I just have to pick up reading that tomorrow, make sure that I read the right thing tomorrow. I just read this because I got to reading it thinking I was going to get to it, and then it gets you on a roll, so I just kept going. Still a good reading, though. But what I was going to read tonight was the account where it actually showed the reason for immigration, and how Luamong's kingdom was not going to be better than the people that Jehovah sent over to Watama, how their system was going to be better than Luamong's. Luamong was over the Spanish conquistadors, and they were responsible for the takedown of the Aztecs. But Creator said that that kingdom was not going to be, Luamong's people were not going to be, they were not going to prosper above America, above the people that the Creator inspired to come over to America. And that's why you see the immigration, the imbalance of immigration. I just thought that was interesting, but this was not the account that I was going to read. So I'll probably pick up on it tomorrow. But that's all right. Anytime you share the OAHSPE, man, this is just great, man. But the things they had to go, and that's captive, man. Oh, listen, excuse me. I mean, look at the captivity, man. That's real stuff. You think, that's why I'm asking the question. Somebody asked me, man, is the Creator for real? Can somebody answer me? Is he for real? Is people going to have to go? What happens to people when they die? Do they really go into slavery? Do they really go to false gods and they get treated that way? That's going to conclude the reading of the word. I'm going to go ahead and open it up now and see if anybody wants to comment on what we talked about tonight. Is this for real stuff, man, that we read here? Will people get treated that way? You know what I mean? Deception. Yeah, I know the deities. They're certainly going to get it. It's going to be the people that's going to give it to them, throw them into hell. Yes, to the false deities, they go into slavery due to their ignorance. Actually, I believe you. I mean, I know that you're right, Elijah. I just have to think like, man, are we really that fortunate? I mean, yeah, we are to get out of deception, man. But what about all the nice people? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've seen them, man. Nice people, man. Unassuming. Did that really happen to them? I mean, I can't find nowhere in the OAHSPE where the creators say, "No, I'm just joking with you." No, it's cool. It's cool. I know that they were ignorant, and no, I just let them slide. There's got to be answer, man. There's got to be some type of answer. Do they really? Do they really go into that type of slavery? You know, I mean, I'd rather not find out. Personally. So anyway, anybody want to come on and share anything? I'm opening it up. You just click on the link. I think that there's a lot coming out about the attempted assassination. You know, there's a video. I seen that video. There's a lady in a black hat behind Trump when he got shot. Now that was eerie right there because when he got shot, if you look at the video, I don't know where you can find it. Maybe if you put like lady in black hat behind Trump at the rally, the shot happens, right? And she was already standing up. Now she's right behind him in the black hat. Let me see if I can get it on the internet. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me see if I can share it. See, this is the type of stuff, man, that make you think conspiracy. Conspiracy people, man, they ain't all wrong. There's some stuff going on in this world. I'm telling you, man, there's some for real stuff going on in this world. Let me see if I can find that video. Let me see. Woman in black hat behind Donald Trump at the rally before shots. Okay, let's see. Okay, don't look like. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if there's at least an image. If they try to focus on her. Let me see if I can find her. She was directly there. She is right there. Right there. There it go. Okay. There she is. A video surfaced on social media showing moments before the attempted assassination. A woman seated right behind the former president acting very weird. Okay. Now, is there a video? Is there a video? Is there a video anywhere? Can we see a video? Is there a video nowhere? No video, huh? Okay, it's cool. Let me see. Fritz, he says, everything conspiracy has come true. JFK, Mark Malcolm. Yeah. I believe that, man. I believe that it's given a stigma to stop you from looking. It's got a heavy stigma on it to stop you from checking into these things. But I seen that video. It's like he got shot, right? And she didn't even flinch. Matter of fact, it was somebody Okay, say like if you're facing, like, okay, you're facing the screen right now, right? All right. Now, you looking at the screen, right? Now, if you turn the person that got killed, the person that got killed at the rally, he would be to your right, like way off to your right, over there in the stands over there, in the path of the bullet. And let me see, he was to the right. Now I forgot the point that I was driving at. The thing that I was going to say is that now the woman, she was behind Trump. What I'm trying to say is she could have known that the time in which the shot was going to be fired. She might have known, because what she did when the shot was fired, and you look at the video, she didn't even flinch. She immediately got up and she turned on the camera. You know, like it was just another day. She stood up while it was all going down, and she got her camera out, and it wasn't even no expression on her face. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff coming out, man. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, I really can't care, man. Me personally, I just can't care anymore. You know, I even was thinking things like, you know, Trump is a Gemini, and that's the people who their mind has wings, meaning, you know, it's been a game of dirty tricks between him and Biden already. Yeah, there's a possibility this could have been staged. It's a strong, and it's down to me like Trump, he could come up with something like that. You know, it's very devious, man. So it's really just mental candy to kind of enjoy for a little bit. But I tell you, man, in all actuality, me personally, I can't really care. I just can't, man. You know, I think, you know, I we in the middle of a situation as fate is. We see the creator, we see what he's doing. He's going to let them fight it out, and then the truth that we are witnessing that's going out right now, people can't see it right now, but they ain't going to be able to deny it as our numbers grow. Yeah, I'm with you, Ace, and that. A lot of people, they say, hey, wait a minute, man, wait a minute. You know, I mean, it even get me thinking, if you could, how can you, you know, you know, well, I'll let them figure it out. I can't really care. Yeah, yeah, Fritz, that's where I'm kind of coming from. I think that he's not beyond cooking up something like this in order to win the election. I mean, I love, you know, I posted something in my room the other day, man. The creator, he said, don't try to purify the government, man. In other words, don't try. You see people in the world, and they talk about we got to take our country back, and you know, stuff like that. We got to get out there. We got to vote them out, and just like the creator is saying, don't even get involved with stuff like that. Don't even get involved with it. Just let them, you know, just don't, you know. It's like, you know what I mean? The way that the creator is going to do it is just let the truth go out. The Ethereans, just let them do their work. They're going to help us, giving us the truth, and that's, you know, the Etherean pressure on men's minds is what's going to do the trick. he's just going to make them conclude, hey, man, we're finished. The jig is up, man. Yeah, stay out of the worldly nonsense. Although I do like to learn off, I like to see, because the creator, he talks about the Uzians. And so I like to look at the world to see if what he's saying is true. That's what helped me focus on the creator. I have to be able to look at what he's talking about. And then they keep on confirming him. They keep on confirming them. They keep on confirming them. And then that's what makes you grow when the creator is telling you, do this, do that, or think this way, help your brothers serve. That's how you elevate. We just read in the reading tonight, man, where those poor deceived people, they were settling for a crumb, man. He said, no, we got this crumb here, man. We good. We good. We ain't never lived like this. He allowed us to go see his throne. All we got to do is work 100 years and crawl on our belly and cite 1,000 prayers for each step that, man, you're kidding me, man. We got it good here. Can you imagine any place better? That's the Uzians, man. That's captivity. The only good news is that the creator, he, at some point, he's going to, the deities are going to have to give it up. You're going to have to give it up. You're going to have to restore the people you deceived before you get elevated. That's the whole plan right there. So you're making it worse for yourself. Even today, till today, you're reaping a harvest. If it's Luamon who's reaping the harvest, he's making a killing now. Because that video of that guy I was showing y'all earlier in the video, Brandon Biggs, if his prophecy comes true, now he already got it right, that he said Trump was going to be shot. He was going to be shot just above the ear if he was shot. And then afterwards, he was going to convert to Christianity, or he was going to start becoming, a big fan of God's, trying to make it right. And he starts talking like that, man. You talking about a mass harvest right there, even more than what you got today. And that's just like the false gods. They war for their kingdoms. They've given a piece of the earth, and they want as many subjects as they can get, and they don't know what they're doing to themselves, because the creator said that the subjects are going to be the ones that cast the false gods into hell. I don't know how it works out, man, but anyway, so that's the best I can do. Nobody wants to come on and share anything, then all right. So I can go ahead and shut it down then. Let's see. Let me see. AceNet says, look at the video Candace Owens did on Trump. Yeah. She has a pretty good, she's a Taurus. That means she has the ability to speak in such a way. She can really speak on a plain level. That's her strength. She says it to where it's easy to follow her. That's her gift. Taurus is like that anyway. They're very easy to be overstood. Because I did see that video. What was she, what points was she making? See if I can remember. I think she talked about the Secret Service and how her husband almost got shot once for being in an area of the White House. And I think she was speculating, how could a guy like this, how could he stage himself in a direct line of sight? It is suspicious. I mean, it is suspicious if you look at the layout. I know you have to think that. And again, man, I'm telling you, Trump is a Gemini. That means that he got the ability I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that he had wind of the plan, knowing that it was going to guarantee him the vote. I don't want to be, negative, man, but these are people, I just think that there's something suspicious going on. But anyway, thank you, brother, for joining me. If there's nobody who wants to say anything or have wants to talk or about anything or whatever, then I can just go ahead and close the video down. Want to give thanks to the Heavenly Father, for the Creator, for allowing me this opportunity to try to be a light while I'm in this reality. Again, I didn't even read what I I didn't even read what I meant to read tonight. What I meant to read tonight it was just fantastic. That's all right. I can save it till tomorrow. So again, thank you, brother, for joining me. You really blessed my soul. And until I see you again on video, peace, love, light, wisdom, prosperity, blessing be unto you. So I see you again. Shalom.